Imagine you have a dictionary in your hand, right? And you are talking to someone.
Okay.
You know every single word they are saying. You can translate the words perfectly in your head, but, well, you still have absolutely no idea what they actually mean.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know that feeling. It is like having all the correct pieces to a puzzle.
Exactly.
But when you put them together, the picture just, it does not look right.
Right. That is the trap of textbook English. And today, welcome to our deep dive. We are going to look at some everyday conversation lessons. We want to bridge the gap between what English speakers literally say and what they actually mean.
Yeah, we want to give you a shortcut. A way to sound and understand English like a natural speaker.
Because, real communication is not just about passing a strict grammar test in a classroom. It is about connecting with people.
Absolutely.
So let's start with something that frustrates almost every language learner. I call it the illusion of words.
Oh, that is a good name for it.
Thanks. It is that situation where people, well, they refuse to say yes or no directly. Taking English conversations literally is like using a map from 100 years ago.
Right. The map exists, but the streets have completely changed.
Exactly. And if you follow that old map, you will end up completely lost.
You really will.
Yeah.
In casual English conversations, words are often just a polite cover for people's true feelings.
So let's figure out this map together. For example, I hear the word maybe all the time.
Oh, yeah. It is everywhere.
But I am starting to realize it is not always a real maybe. Sometimes it feels, like a hidden no. How are you supposed to know the difference?
Well, it is a huge challenge. You really have to look at the culture. In many English-speaking cultures, especially in casual situations, native speakers deeply avoid saying a direct no.
Really? Just completely avoid it?
Yes. They do this because they want to protect the relationship. They feel that a direct, flat no sounds, well, too harsh or even unfriendly.
Oh, I see. So they prioritize politeness over direct honesty. That explains a lot.
It does, right. So words are only one part of the message. To understand the real meaning, you have to look at the tone of voice and the situation.
Let's think about a party invitation. Say I ask my friend to a party. I say, hey, we are having a party on Saturday night. Do you want to come?
Okay, a very normal question.
And my friend says, maybe another time. Now, before, I would take out my dictionary and think, great, they will come to the next party.
Right, taking it completely literally.
But now, I'm guessing that is the wrong reaction.
Yeah, you are catching on. When a native speaker says maybe another time, they're usually just busy. Or, perhaps they simply do not want to come.
But they don't want to say that.
Exactly. Instead of saying, I cannot come, which feels too strong, they soften the blow. They give you a maybe so they do not hurt your feelings.
I see. So if I push them and say, okay, how about next weekend or the weekend after that?
Oh, no.
I am actually making the situation uncomfortable for both of us, aren't I?
Yes, very uncomfortable. The best response is probably just to accept it and move on. You just say, sure, no problem, and let the topic go.
Wow, okay. Do not expect them to come. Let's look at another situation. Let's call this one the expensive phone.
I like it.
Imagine I am at a store with a friend. I'm holding a brand new, very expensive smartphone, and I tell my friend, you should buy this new phone. It is amazing.
Okay, you are really pushing them.
Yeah, but my friend looks at the price tag and says, well, I will think about it.
Yes.
When I first started learning English, I always assumed this meant they were going to go home, sit at their desk, look at their bank account, and really think deeply about buying it.
Right, because that is what the words literally mean.
Exactly. I expected them to come back to the store the next day, but this is another polite no, isn't it?
Most of the time, yes. When someone is pressured to buy something or, if they're pressured to make a quick decision, saying I will think about it is a gentle way of saying probably not.
It just creates temporary space.
Yeah, exactly. Saying no, I will not buy it, it is too expensive, well, it feels too direct. It creates conflict during a relaxed shopping trip.
So they use I will think about it just to escape the pressure.
Yes, exactly.
So if I'm the friend, I should not ask them about the phone again the next day. I should just let the topic disappear.
You just let it go. Sometimes it genuinely means they need time to decide, but in casual conversation, it is usually a polite strategy. A way to say no without ending the conversation on a negative note.
It seems like a lot of everyday English is just trying to avoid conflict.
It really is.
This makes me think of asking people for favors, like asking a friend to help move to a new apartment.
Oh, that is a big favor.
Right. So I ask can you help me move this Saturday? And the friend says, that sounds difficult.
Oh boy.
If I just use my dictionary, I hear them describing the physical work. Moving boxes is heavy. It is literally difficult.
Right. But they are not really talking about the physical challenge.
They aren't.
No, they are using the difficulty as an excuse to avoid the task. They're pointing out the hard work because, well, they do not want to do it.
So if they say that sounds difficult, I should absolutely not wait for them to show up on Saturday morning.
You definitely should not bring a moving truck to their house. They're politely declining your request.
This explains those really short, vague answers, too. Like when I invite someone to dinner and they just say, we will see, or I am not sure.
Yes, they are putting up a shield.
Right. They are protecting themselves from saying no, and they are protecting me from hearing no.
That is a brilliant way to look at it. You have to become a detective of human behavior. You cannot just read the words. You have to read the situation.
Okay, so tone can betray you even if you use the right words. We just saw how whole phrases can hide their true meaning. But tone of voice can change the meaning of just a single word, too.
Oh, absolutely. Tone of voice is one of the most powerful tools in spoken English. It adds emotional layers that a dictionary simply cannot show.
Let's focus on the word interesting. Now, if I read the dictionary, interesting means something catches my attention in a good way.
Right. It's a positive word.
I want to know more. But I have noticed native speakers use it in very strange ways.
It is a perfect chameleon word.
A chameleon?
Yeah, a chameleon changes its color to match its environment. The word interesting changes its meaning to match the speaker's tone.
Oh, I like that. Let's test this. If I tell you, hey, I watched a great documentary about space travel yesterday, and you reply in a high, excited voice, oh, interesting.
Well, with that excited tone, I am saying, that is cool. Or tell me more. The dictionary definition fits perfectly there. I am genuinely curious.
But what if I tell you a crazy plan? I say, I want to quit my job, sell my house, and start a farm.
Oh, wow.
And you reply with a long pause and a low voice. You say, interesting.
Notice how the feeling completely changes. The longer pause and the lower voice mean, I am not saying that's cool anymore.
What are you saying?
I am saying that is surprising, and I have serious doubts about your plan.
I get it. You are not agreeing with me. You are just letting me know that you heard my wild idea. You are buying time to think.
Exactly. And it serves as a polite disagreement.
Yeah.
This is very common when people share strong opinions.
So if someone says, I think people do not need to learn grammar at all, and you want to be polite, but you completely disagree, you just nod slowly and say, interesting.
Yes. It is much softer than saying, you are completely wrong. It keeps the peace in the conversation. You acknowledge their opinion without starting an argument.
I have also heard it used when people ask for feedback. Say, I show my friend my new bright yellow shoes. I ask, what do you think? And they look at the shoes for a long time and say, interesting. I feel like that is a trap.
It is absolutely a trap. When you ask for an opinion and you get a slow, interesting, it means they do not know what to say without being rude. They probably do not like the shoes at all.
So I should probably keep my receipt from the store.
Yeah, definitely keep the receipt.
It is fascinating how one word carries so much weight. And I guess this applies to other short words too, like sure and fine.
Oh, yes. Very much so.
If I ask a friend, can I borrow your pen? And they say brightly, sure, that is a happy yes.
But if you ask, can we watch this 3-hour movie? And they sigh and say, sure. Well, they are actually saying, okay, if you really want to, but I am not excited about it.
And fine is even more dangerous, right? If a waiter asks, how is your food? And you smile and say, it is fine, thank you, everything is okay.
Right.
But if I am arguing with a friend and they cross their arms and say, fine, they are not okay at all. They just want to stop arguing. You really have to listen to the music of the language, not just the letters.
Listening to that music will completely change how you understand natural English conversations.
But what if you use the perfect textbook grammar with a very polite tone and still sound completely wrong?
That happens very often, actually. Natural English is not just about following strict grammar rules. It is about sounding comfortable and fitting into the situation.
I like to think of speaking perfect textbook English like wearing a very expensive formal tuxedo to a casual beach party.
That is a great picture.
You are dressed perfectly. There are no mistakes in your clothes. But you look completely out of place. You make everyone else feel a little uncomfortable because you are too formal.
Right. To fit in at the beach party, you have to dress down, you have to relax. Native speakers naturally use softer, more relaxed expressions.
Okay.
When a learner uses perfect textbook grammar all the time, it can sometimes build a wall between them and the native speaker. The native speaker feels like they are in a business meeting, not a casual friendship.
Let's break down some common textbook phrases and understand why native speakers change them. Let's start with feeling tired.
Okay.
A textbook teaches you to say, I am very tired. The grammar is 100% correct. But when I hear native speakers, they rarely say this. Why does it sound strange?
It sounds a bit robotic,
Yeah.
lacks emotion. When native speakers want to express strong feelings, they use stronger, more descriptive words instead of just adding the word very. They say, I am exhausted. Or they use a phrase like, I am beat.
I am beat. I want to make sure we understand that one. It does not mean someone physically hit you or beat you up.
Oh, no, not at all. It just means you have absolutely zero energy left. Like, I've been working all day, I am beat.
It paints a picture of how you feel, which makes the conversation much more natural.
Exactly.
Here's another one. I like it very much. A textbook says, I like this movie very much. It feels very stiff to me.
It is stiff. To sound warmer and more comfortable, a native speaker will usually bring the word really to the front. They will say, I really like this, or they will just use a stronger verb and say, I love this. It feels much more personal.
That makes sense. What about when you do not have the answer? Textbooks teach, I do not know. I suppose I do not know is perfectly fine, but it can sometimes sound a little sharp, almost like you are closing the door on the conversation.
It can feel a bit abrupt, yes. Native speakers have softer ways to say this. You can say, I have no idea, or I am not sure. There is also a very casual, friendly phrase, beats me.
Beats me. So if someone asks, where did John go? I can just shrug my shoulders and say, beats me. It sounds so relaxed.
Very relaxed.
Let's look at a practical situation that happens to every language learner. You do not understand what someone said. The textbook tells you to say, please repeat.
Oh, yes.
But honestly, this sounds like a police officer giving an order. Even with the word please, it feels demanding.
It goes back to the tuxedo at the beach party. Please repeat is a direct command. To fix it, you need to change the structure. You need to turn it into a gentle question. You are asking for a favor, not giving an order.
So instead of a command, I should say something like, could you say that again? Or, sorry, what was that?
Exactly.
By asking a question, I am inviting them to help me. I'm not forcing them to speak.
That is the exact mechanism. You are creating polite distance.
This polite distance idea explains another common phrase. Imagine I am in a cafe pointing at a cake. The textbook says, I want that. But I want sounds like a small child demanding a toy from their parents.
Because I want is a direct statement of your personal desire. It leaves no room for the other person to breathe. To sound polite as an adult, English relies heavily on modal verbs, words like would, could, or can.
Yeah.
These words soften the demand. They create a respectful space between you and the other person.
So instead of saying, I want that, I should use a modal verb and say, I would like that, or I'd like that, or turn it into a question, can I get that?
Yes.
It is amazing how I want sounds demanding, but I would like sounds perfectly polite.
Softening your language is a major part of sounding natural. And we also have to watch out for direct translation traps.
What are those?
These are phrases that learners translate word for word from their first language, but they actually break the rules of English.
Ah, right. The most famous one is age. In many languages, you possess your years. So people translate it to, I have 20 years. I understand the logic. But in English, age is a state of being, not something you own.
Right. You must say, I am 20 years old. Another common trap is saying, I am agree.
I hear that all the time. I think it happens because in some languages, agreeing is an adjective. It is a feeling you have. But in English, agree is an action. It is a verb like running or jumping. Since it is already a verb, you do not need the word am. You just say, I agree.
Spot on. The same thing happens with lights. Many learners say, open the light. In their native language, the word for opening a door is the same word for starting a machine.
But English is very strict about this, isn't it? We only open physical objects like doors, windows, or boxes. For electricity and power, we have to talk about turning the flow on or off. We say, turn on the light or switch on the light.
Perfect. And finally, we have to talk about the one-letter danger. This might be the most important translation trap of all. The difference between I am boring and I am bored.
It is just one letter at the end of the word, the ing versus the ed, but it changes the entire meaning. Let me see if I can explain why.
Go for it.
Words ending in ed usually describe how I feel inside. Words ending in ing describe the effect I have on other people.
That is a perfect way to explain it.
So if I say, I am boring, I am describing my own personality. I am telling the world my personality makes other people go to sleep. You definitely do not want to say that.
No, you do not. If your goal is to say that you are tired and you have nothing fun to do, you must describe your internal feeling. You say, I am bored.
I am bored means I feel empty inside. I am boring means I make other people feel empty. It is a funny mistake, but a very important one to avoid.
Very important.
Well, we have covered so much ground today. Let's bring it all together. We looked at why people use a polite no with words like maybe. We explored how the tone of your voice changes the chameleon word interesting. And we discovered why perfect textbook grammar can sometimes sound unnatural.
The main lesson here is that you should not translate word for word. Always pay close attention to the tone of voice and the situation. Natural English is about softening your words, asking gentle questions instead of giving commands, and focusing on how you sound, not just the rules you follow.
Learning real English is not about passing a test. It is about true communication. When you use natural phrases and when you understand the hidden meanings behind the words, you build stronger connections. People feel more relaxed around you.
Language is a tool for connection. When you understand the cultural rules behind the grammar, that connection becomes much deeper.
Before we go, I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder on your own. We talked a lot today about how native English speakers use so many tricks. They say maybe, they use the word interesting, or they say that sounds difficult, just to avoid saying no directly.
It raises an important question about how English-speaking culture handles honesty and conflict. Why is a direct no considered so uncomfortable or rude?
Yeah, and how does this compare to the culture of your native language? In your culture, is it normal to be direct? Do people say a strong no without worrying about hurting feelings? Or do you have your own hidden words and polite tricks?
It is a fascinating way to look at how language and culture are completely tied together.
It really is. The next time you pick up your dictionary, remember it gives you the pieces of the puzzle. But to see the full picture, you have to look up from the page, listen to the music of the conversation, and read the room. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive, and keep practicing your real English. See you next time.